Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we're loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news and straws dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go when all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Nice. Ferris Bueller. I love it. That's great. Welcome to episode 126 of Sports on Tap Detroit. I'm Chris Scott alongside Joe Waddell. Joe, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
All right.
Here doing the show. Let's get it rolling.
Yeah. We vary every week.
We do.
It's where we got. Well, first we have 3, then we have 2, then we have 3, then we lose Frank.
Yeah.
Then we have
Eric
3.
goes on vacation because he
Yeah.
thinks that's more important than doing the show. I get it.
Then we have 2 again, and then we have 4. Like, we're just all over the fucking board with people. But
All over. But if you're actually watching us right now, I actually like this camera view because it actually shows off this beautiful jersey I'm wearing. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
yeah, it's a good job. I like that one.
So, anyways, it says there was no Lions game this past week, and maybe they lost a bye week. I don't know, but
I mean, I don't know. Are they past the point of losing bye weeks?
I think they're past the point of losing bye week. So I guess that means they're slowly chipping away at SOL. Anyways, but getting into this week in the NFL, again, like we kind of talked about on our Friday show, more just horrendous football, more horrendous officiating.
Yeah.
And it's a weekly thing, and as much as we don't want to talk about it, we almost have to because it's a thing. It's a thing every week.
I get tired of talking about it.
I do too.
It's just so. I mean, it's gotten bad. We talked about it. The football itself has been bad this year for some reason. Every team is all over the map. I mean, you've got teams that look like world beaters one week, and then the next week they look like shit. Like it's really bad.
And I actually heard something interesting today on one of the shows I was listening to, is that they believe one of the reasons for that is the defenses have, I guess, caught up to offenses now. And I think that's a big reason for it, because now they're hiring a lot of younger defensive coordinators that are come out of kind of the college game.
Well,
and they're scheming against everything that's going on in college. So they know what's coming up. What's coming.
For a while there, it was the rules were trying to regulate defense out of football, right?
Yes.
And I think that might be another thing that goes to your point, is I think maybe the defenses have caught up to the rules.
Maybe.
Whereas they can actually play defense now within those rules. It's not new to them now.
No.
They've found ways to be able to play the defense and play better defense with these rules, trying to regulate them out of it.
Okay. Yeah, and kind of like we were talking about before the show, you watch a lot of these games, and not only that, but you see just so many flags every game.
Yeah.
And it seems like, it almost seems like every other incompletion, there's a flag for pass interference or holding or illegal contact, whatever. It's like, okay, and then when there's a completion, and you have to almost wait to see if there's a flag.
Yeah.
And that I mean, that in itself detracts from the game. It really does.
Yeah. Well, and some of the roughing the passer calls.
Oh my god.
Like, there was one.
Oh my
There was
God.
one this weekend where I don't know how the defensive player could have done anything differently.
It was literally a form tackle.
He wrapped him up. He
Yeah.
hit him. He wrapped him up. He tackled him. He didn't
Right in the
do anything.
midsection.
Didn't do anything that looked like roughing the passer. But it got called for roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Then last night, was it Herbert that got thrown down?
Yep.
Yeah. So Justin Herbert gets literally swung
got
around.
ragdolled.
Yeah, he got swung around like he was a rag doll.
Yeah.
Got thrown down to the ground.
Nothing.
And literally the refs were standing right there, and they were just like, well, no big deal. How is a form tackle it was almost perfect form tackle,
Yep.
roughing the passer in one game, and a quarterback gets flung around and thrown down to the ground unnecessarily when the whistle got blown,
Yeah.
and yet
Nothing.
nothing.
And therein lies the issue. Therein lies a huge issue with this league now. And I know the NFL doesn't care because everybody talks about it. So that means people are talking about our league.
Yep.
What is that?
That's a bot.
Oh, all right. Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I saw that play, I had to throw it in our group text. I'm like, so form tackle, not okay. Guy getting ragdolled, penalty or not a penalty. Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Makes sense.
And that's where we are in 2023 with the NFL. And again, the NFL doesn't care because they know you're still going to watch.
I mean,
But-
their biggest fan has stopped watching a little bit this year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are kind of going that route.
Like we were talking before the show, and I said, don't get me wrong. On Sundays, I still like putting on Red Zone.
Yes.
I still put on the other TV on whatever game or 2 games are on.
Yeah.
And I still watch football all day, right? I spend the day at the house. I make a crock pot meal, or I make some meals for the week.
So domesticated.
I know, right? I'm just, I might go to Home Depot, maybe Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if I'll have time. I don't know.
Pretty
I
nice
don't know
little
if I'll have time.
Sunday.
But yeah, like I love watching football at home on Sundays. Like that is still my day.
Yeah.
With some other things mixed in, obviously, the domesticated lifestyle. Some other things are mixed in. It's not just sitting there watching football.
Now for
But-
me, it's just sitting there watching football.
I mean, for the most part. But I mean, there's when I have family over and there's certain things going on, like two. Not this last Sunday. The Sunday before that was my mom's birthday. So I had family over, and I didn't sit there and just absorb football the entire day. It was on the entire day,
Right.
but there was other things going on. I was doing other things. But on the off nights, on the nights like Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, even sometimes on Sunday Night Football, where I've been watching football all day, I have tuned out a little bit.
It's not appointment viewing.
No,
Like it used to be.
now if I sit down and the game is good,
Yes.
I'm in for the rest
Well,
of the
of
game.
course. Yeah.
But if it's not good football, if there's bad calls, and a
Yes.
lot of times there is bad. Did you put the racist pumpkin soap out for the family?
Jesus, Mike.
Yeah, yes, I did. Yeah. So I'll get to that story in a
I'm
second.
looking forward to hearing this.
That's great.
Okay.
Well, for a show that we pride ourselves on being vaguely racist, I have to tell the racist soap story. So,
Yes.
So anyway, I have tuned out of games quite a few times on the night games this year, on Thursday night, Monday night, and sometimes Sunday night. Like if the game is not interesting enough,
Yeah.
before I would still watch it. It's football,
Right.
and yet this year,
What's up, Alicia?
I'm out.
How are you? How was the trip?
Hey, Alicia. Hey, I have a drop for you.
Mara, the meatloaf!
There you go.
Nice.
Ma, the meatloaf.
Nice. No, but I get what you're saying. It's again, it's not appointment viewing anymore, and especially like the Monday night games, the Thursday night games, Sunday night games. And it used to be you looked forward to those games.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like, like the
Well,
game last night. Like I had 2 other things on.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Leafs game on and I had Raw on.
Yeah.
And then like halftime, I started kind of watching the football game
Right.
just to kind of see what was going on. That I kind of saw like highlights. I'm just like, wow, I really haven't fucking missed anything.
No.
This is trash.
Well, and I was telling you, for the first time in a long time, I played a video game.
Yeah.
Last night by myself. I usually play with Ray. Her and I play Mario Kart or Mario Party.
Now, when you
But,
play
like,
Mario Kart, are you ruthless with her, or do you? Let her win?
Absolutely.
Yeah, attaboy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
no.
can't let her win.
absolutely not.
No, absolutely. Well done.
No,
Yes.
I absolutely go full tilt.
Absolutely. That's the way you should do it.
She's not gonna learn how to win other than that.
Exactly.
If I let you win, you're not gonna learn how to win.
Nope.
So no,
Absolutely.
absolutely not.
No, that's the way to do it.
I do that with any game I play with her. Board games, video
Yeah,
games.
hell yeah.
Absolutely
I
not.
believe that's the way you should do it.
You can't learn to win if
No.
if somebody's letting you win your entire life.
Absolutely not.
But no, so I played a video game by myself last night, and it was Red Dead Redemption 2. If anybody's played that game, you know it's a great fucking game, and it absorbs you. I had the game on the small TV. The game was bad enough that I ended up not even paying attention to it and just playing the video game. Now, if the game was good enough,
Yeah.
I would have absolutely been paying more attention to that and just kind of playing the video game on the side. But
Yeah.
the game was bad.
It was
not
bad.
a good game.
It was a horror show from Zach Wilson. It just people were starting to almost get there. Like, oh, maybe he's actually all right. Maybe he's actually decent. No, Zach Wilson is trash.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Exactly. Yeah, he's trash. I'm sorry, guys. He's not a good quarterback. He just
No.
isn't.
And
Especially against the Chargers defense that isn't very good. And granted,
and you can pass on the Chargers defense.
and you can pass on it. Granted, the Jets' offensive line didn't exactly help him last night.
No,
but
and
even when he did have time,
And they've gotten worse over the season,
they have.
too.
But even when he did have time, he looked like shit.
He was overthrowing receivers.
Oh, yeah.
He was. I mean, Garrett Wilson. I feel bad for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
like that dude is just like he thought for sure he was going to be on a Super Bowl run this year with
Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football, and now he's back to Zach Wilson and overthrown, underthrown, fucking ducks.
It's almost like he has to make incredible catches every time a ball
Yeah.
is thrown to him. And that's not good. That's not the way you want it to be.
No.
But like one thing I did, or a couple of things I did learn about this game last week, is the Lions got the Chargers coming up. I think it's that's an afternoon game, right? The 4:25 game next week.
Yeah,
Or 4 o'clock.
It's either 4 o'clock
yeah,
or 4:20.
late afternoon game. Anyways, the Lions should have a field day, even with that offensive line, with the Chargers' offensive line. That offensive line is not very good.
No, they're not. I do think the Chargers are going to give them a little bit of a run for their money.
I do.
I don't think it's going to be like the Lions have basically put up 2 duds and then they've kind of handled most everybody else. The first game of the year against Kansas City was a little bit iffy. Like, that was questionable.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is going to be one of those games where Lions just run away from it. I think the Chargers will give them some fits. I still think Detroit pulls it out and wins this game.
I do too. Yeah.
Based on, I think they win in the trenches.
I do as well, because both lines for the Lions they're better.
Yeah.
They're flat out better. Don't get me wrong. The Chargers' defensive line is not bad with Bosa and those guys.
No.
It's not a bad, and you saw that last night. But the Lions' offensive line is significantly better than the Jets.
Yeah.
Significantly better. But you saw if you can get pressure, they can do some things.
Yep.
But I don't know how much pressure they're going to be able to get.
No. Quick side note on that, the racist pumpkin. So when Mike and Lori came over to the house one Sunday, shortly after we had moved in, it was about a month or so, they came over and just wanted to come see the house and hang out. So Lori went to go buy at like Bed Bath & Beyond or something, some soaps for the house or whatever, a candle and some soap, and very nice, appreciated. I hate when people buy shit for me. I'm awkward with that, but it's appreciated.
Yeah, that's why we bought you something.
Yeah, I know. But you guys did it where like it just appeared at my house.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? And that one was, it just appeared. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But like I'm really bad at receiving gifts. I do appreciate it, but I'm just bad at it. But so I opened it up and it said it was white pumpkin scented, and I'm like, why is it gotta be white pumpkin?
Yeah, right.
What's wrong with what's wrong with the orange pumpkins? Why? So, what's wrong with a normal orange pumpkin?
Why got to be racist, man?
Is that too much color for you?
Why got to be all that? Why got to be racist, man?
Why is it got to be white pumpkins?
That's funny. I like that. That's great.
Well, apparently white pumpkins smell better than the orange ones.
I guess. So moving off of that game, kind of
I prefer my pumpkins to look like Donald Trump.
Fair enough. Okay.
Anyways, moving on.
So coming off that game of last night, we kind of recapped the Titans Steelers game because we did a show Friday.
Yep.
Just kind of looking over the games, kind of recapping this past week. You had the Bills Bengals on Sunday night. Once again, The Bills, they're in trouble, and we talked about it a little bit before the show. I'm of the mindset that they got a couple winnable games coming up against the Broncos and I believe the Jets after that. I'm of the mindset if you don't win both those games, they're fucked. They're not winning any. They're not going to the playoffs. Period.
No, the Buffalo needs to do several things here. They need to get their offense going earlier in games. For some reason, like they start out slow. They start out slow against the Jaguars. Start out slow against the Jets. Slow against Cincinnati, and again, we preach on it every week. Figure out your run game and try to stick to it. Like, don't abandon it. Even when it's working, they abandon it. I don't understand that.
It's almost like there is no set game plan. It's just like, we're going to do a couple of these, we're going to do a couple of these, and then we're going to do a couple of these. And then if it works, okay, it'll work for a few plays, and then we're going to switch to something else. It's like, well, okay.
So James Cook and Latavius Murray combined 24 yards on 8 carries.
That's unacceptable.
8 carries.
Yeah.
24 yards. So basically they gave them each 4 carries and went, well, this isn't working.
Like, if that's the kind of offense you're going to run, then you have to take the chains off Josh Allen and let him do what he does.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way your offense is going to move. If that's the way you guys want to run your offense, then you have to take the chains off Josh Allen. And, yeah, he's going to throw a bunch of picks because that's just what he does, apparently. But you're going to have to live with that. And
you got to get the turnovers out of your game, too.
Yes.
Two more against Cincinnati this week, and I just there's
the first one was just like, who the fuck are you throwing that to?
Those are 3 major flaws that a team that is in consideration to make a playoff run should not be doing right now. And if the playoffs started today, like we talked about before the show, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Nope.
So they have to turn those three things around before they're going to be even close to being a Super Bowl contender again this year.
They do, and even with all the injuries to that defense, I still think their defense is good enough to carry them. They're fine. It's like, okay, they're not a great defense anymore because of all the injuries, but it's a good enough defense to where if your offense does what they're supposed to do, and what we were led to believe that this offense can do, and we've seen it, like what they did against the Dolphins. This offense is capable of doing that.
Yep.
Then your defense is good enough to win you football games.
Yep.
And it's just like after that Dolphins game, it was just almost kind of like, we blew our load. We're done. Time to go night-night.
Yep.
Nap time. It's like, come on. What? And I said this, and I'll still maintain it. Ken Dorsey, he's not the guy, man. He's not the guy.
No, and I've heard other Buffalo fans say the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're lockstep with you on that one.
I was actually listening to an interview today with one of the Bills beat writers, and that was literally the direct question that was asked to him. Like, how are fans in Buffalo feeling about Ken Dorsey? And they want him gone.
Yeah.
We want him gone because you're taking a Ferrari and you're crashing it, man. Is Josh Allen a perfect quarterback? Hell no. No, hell no.
I think we've learned that for sure.
Yes, but you're taking him and you're muzzling him and not letting him do the things he's capable of doing. Yeah. It's kind of like what we talked about with Lamar and what they were doing with Justin Fields, trying to make him something he's not. Now, is Josh Allen more of a pocket passer than both of those guys? Yes, I believe he is. But he's best when he can get outside the pocket and do his own thing. And you're not letting him do that.
No. And on the other side of the ball, a team that we said had major problems to start the season now looks like they're fully back. Cincinnati.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
I mean, Joe Burrow looks like he's fully back, fully recovered.
He does.
Last week against the Niners, he went 28-32, 3 touchdowns. This week, 348 yards, 2 scores against Buffalo. 31-44, so more incompletions, but he still looks crisp and clean, and he looks like he's back to being Joe Burrow.
Yeah, he does.
Jeremy Jankowski says more like a Dodge Neon.
Yeah. That's kind of how they're treating him. It's like a Dodge Neon. Like a 2-door Dodge Neon, not even a 4-door.
Not even the 4-door.
Not even a 4-door, a 2-door Dodge Neon. No, that's kind of how they're treating him, and it's an indictment on him as an OC.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, the Bengals, they look back to being one of the favorites to possibly come out of the AFC.
Yep.
Just especially in that division,
they're a contender once again. The Ravens are ahead of them in the division right now, but that can change quickly. And they're basically 1.5 games ahead of them. 7-2 for Baltimore and 5-3 for all three: Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland.
The Ravens, as of right now, hold the tiebreaker because they've beaten Cincinnati, right?
I believe so. Yeah. But if the playoffs started today, all 4 AFC North teams would be in the playoffs.
That's impressive.
All 4.
That's very
and
impressive.
We said it before the season started. We thought that division was going to be pretty tough. Pittsburgh is impressive, and we talked about that before the show starts.
I have no
too.
idea how they're 5-3.
How the fuck?
How are they 5-3?
Does Mike Tomlin have them at 5-3? But that I digress
All
on
right,
that one.
So let me ask you this: if he after the season he's done, is he a Hall of Fame coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is too. I do.
Yeah. I think he's done enough.
Yeah.
That his overall resume would make him a Hall of Fame.
The fact that
coach.
he's got a Super Bowl, and he literally has never had a losing season.
Yep.
I think that puts you in.
Yeah, he's never had a losing season. I think overall win percentage would for sure put him up there.
Would you have Omar Epps induct him? Which I think would be the greatest thing ever.
That would be fantastic.
That would be amazing if Omar Epps inducted him into the Hall of Fame.
That would be a great way to do it.
Yes, it would be. I think that would be absolutely fantastic.
One of the other marquee games for the week was the Eagles-Cowboys.
Again, another game that was marred by penalties. It was. And for all the Cowboys fans that are crying, stop it. Stop. The Eagles actually had more penalties than you did.
Yeah.
And the officials marched your team down to the fucking 6-yard line on that last drive. Come on. You cannot sit here and say that you got jobbed by the refs because you didn't.
Well, and here's another one of poor game management and poor play
Yep.
on the field. So on the last play of the game, from the 27-yard line, the Cowboys, Dak Prescott,
Yep.
threw a completed pass short of the goal line.
Yeah.
What?
What?
What are you doing?
Even that one where he stepped out of bounds and that was the 2-pointer?
Yeah.
You can't step out of bounds there, man. You got to know. You got to have. There was nobody.
Dude, it's a 2-point. Throw it to someone, even if they're covered. Fucking throw it, or try to get in the end zone,
dive or something.
Dive,
You can't
do
step out.
something.
You can't step out there, man. You cannot step out of bounds there.
I'm throwing to a cover guy. I'm just looking for my jersey.
Yep.
And you're right, either dive in or I'm looking to just throw it in the vicinity of somebody that's on my team to try to make a play. You cannot just run out of bounds there.
No, and this is one of the reasons why we kind of crush Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins and guys like that. Yeah, they may have a fantastic game, and by all accounts, Dak had a very good game. He did. If you look at his numbers, he had a very good game.
It wasn't a bad game.
But it's in those clutch moments when he doesn't make the play, and this is why we crush those guys. Like you can put up all the stats, and this is why we crush Stafford. Same thing. Like he never came up clutch.
Yep.
He never made that play.
Dak was 29 of 44, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, passer rating of 115.2, which is very, very good. Now, on the other side of the ball, Jalen Hurts had a passer rating or a quarterback rating of 130.2.
Okay.
Didn't have to throw for as many yards. He was 17 of 23, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. But again, it's the clutch. It's the coming through in the end of the game. It's the decision making at the end of the game.
It's those winning plays.
Yeah.
Which Dak doesn't make.
I would say, tell me whether you think I'm wrong or not. This is my opinion. For me, every NFL football game, every football game in general, not really college, because college has a lot of blowouts. I think most NFL games come down to like a handful of plays.
Oh, yeah.
Like out of all the game, out of the entire game, it's about a handful of plays. It's probably about 5 plays that make or break a game for a team.
Yep.
And it's what happens in those 5 plays and what decisions you make in those 5 big moments that decide a game.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's actually...
And when you have a quarterback that makes the decisions like Dak does at times, and then you throw in the fact that sometimes you have coaching errors on certain teams that fuck you over on those 5 plays or so.
Yeah.
That's how teams lose games, and that's the difference between a winning team and a losing team, is having the quarterback that can make those decisions at that time and help you win those 5 plays.
Yep.
And a coaching staff that doesn't shit the bed in those decision-making times and in those crucial times and puts you in the best position to win those 5 plays.
And this is why you look at a guy like Brady. Now, I don't think he's the greatest quarterback ever. However, this is why he's in that conversation, is because he made those winning plays.
He made in those decision making. He made the right decision.
Yes.
He made the right throw. He made the right read.
Yes.
Like he put the ball where it needed to be. Though that is what led him to being such a winner.
And same thing with like Mahomes. He makes that right play. He does. And this is the difference. It's not a huge difference in talent or anything like that. It's decision making.
Dak has the talent.
He does have the talent. He absolutely has the talent.
He has proven it.
But this decision making is not elite like a guy like Patrick Mahomes or Brady or guys like that. It just isn't. And frankly, I don't think that's ever going to change.
Or again, throw it back, Joe Montana, Steve Young.
Exactly.
Like your decision making skills as a quarterback are what make you in the elite category.
Exactly.
It's what puts you in the elite category.
Exactly. And this is, and like I said, I'll go back to what we originally said. Like guys like Dak and Kirk Cousins, for the amount of numbers they put up, and by all accounts, they're fantastic numbers. Yes, and they're probably going to get you numbers wise into the Hall of Fame, which I don't necessarily agree with, but whatever.
Yeah.
But if you take all those numbers, and that's great, it'll look great on your trading card. But then you look at what he does in the moments that matter.
Yep.
And that's kind of what you really have to look at. Well, it's a team game, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you make the right read and you throw it to a receiver and the receiver drops it, they're going to look at the receiver. They're not going to look at you.
Right.
They're going to look at the receiver that dropped the pass.
Right.
Like, anybody in the right mind will look at it and be like, no, he made the right read. He made the perfect throw.
Right.
The guy dropped it.
And as a quarterback, it's a team game, but nobody's blaming you for the wins that you had that were just blowout wins that
Right.
you didn't affect, that you just had no chance to win. No, but your decision-making skills in the big moments of games where you should have won or you could have won.
Yep.
That's what defines your career.
Yep. In that game, this past Sunday against the Eagles, you frankly should have won that game.
Yeah, because by all accounts, the Eagles on the other side of the ball, it hasn't been pretty all season, and it wasn't pretty in that game
It
either.
was not.
So the Eagles, they have an 8-1 record right now.
It's kind of like the Vikings from last year a little bit.
A
little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So not as much as where I don't think anybody's
I mean, it's
gonna
hard to say
that.
like a team that just went to the Super Bowl last
Right.
year is like a fraud.
I don't think anybody's going to call them frauds, but it hasn't been pretty for
It
them.
has not.
And it was not pretty in this game, and Dallas could have, and by all accounts, or by some accounts, should have won this game. But again, on the other side of the ball, and I can't believe I'm saying this a few years after laughing my ass off when he got hired, Nick Sirianni is a better coach.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts makes better decisions with the football in clutch situations.
He does.
And they just have a better football team in those 5 big moments. You know what I mean?
And
like
that's the difference.
it's a huge
It's
difference.
literally your difference. Moving on to like the other premier game, I guess, of this past weekend, the Dolphins and Chiefs.
Yep. Which
neutral
was
site
a
game.
dud.
It kind of was. It kind of, and I kind of get that. You know, it's
I mean,
you're going overseas. I get it. I see.
I think every overseas game so far has been kind of like a letdown. Like it's not what they don't have.
But I think there's
Can
a
you-
reason for that.
Can you name any big offensive performance in an overseas game?
No, I literally,
No.
I can't.
Because it's almost like the traveling for them is just it's a long travel, man.
It's a long.
And it's completely different time of the day for their bodies.
It is. Should the teams that are going to play these games, should they have a bye week previous to when they go? Because I know we talk about them having a bye week when they get back, you know, to kind of reacclimate.
Yeah.
But should they have a bye week before they go?
No, I think they should have. Well, maybe it would make the football better.
I
have
think-
said they
yeah.
should have a bye week after they come back.
Oh,
always
that
said
I
that.
agree with 100%. They should have a bye week when they get
But
back.
if they're going to go to 18 games,
Which
and they're
going
going to give, and they're going to, and they're going to give teams 2 bye weeks, which is what they're talking about doing.
So you have,
Then
you have
in
a
that
2-week
case-
stretch where you're off,
Then in that case, no, you'd have
but-
you'd have a bye week,
play, and then bye
travel to Europe, and then have a bye week.
Okay.
Now that might be doable.
week. Maybe. That's the only thing I can think of that would actually make these games. I don't want to say competitive because some of them have, like this game was competitive,
It was, yeah. This
but
game wasn't.
but it's just a bad game.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was, and
I mean,
I think that's one of the
Can-
biggest factors to it.
Kansas City scored all their points in the first half.
Yeah.
One of which was a very questionable fumble,
Yeah,
return for a touchdown. And then the Dolphins scored all their 14 points in the second half, actually in the third quarter,
yes,
and it was just not good football the rest of the time.
it wasn't. It was. I don't know. It just,
And
it was,
and
it
Taylor
almost
Swift,
looked like
Taylor
XFL
Swift wasn't there.
No.
So Travis Kelce had a dud of
He
a
had a
week.
dud, of course
He did.
he
He
did.
did nothing.
It almost looked like a XFL game kind of, or like USFL game.
That was not.
Which crazy they're merging like we said they were going to.
Huh.
How
That's
that-
weird.
Weird.
That's weird. I feel like we heard that somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We said it.
Yeah. What was the one that you sent me on Facebook? And I literally had said it on Friday, and you sent it to me on Saturday, and I was like, I feel like I heard that last night.
Oh, I have to go back and read it, but it was. I immediately
Yeah.
thought, I'm like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yep.
But yeah, back to this Chiefs Dolphins game. It was kind of a dud. I look at it, and the Chiefs offense still is funky to me. I don't know exactly what the major issue is with their offense. I know
what the issue is
I know
with
we're
the
talking
offense.
about the receivers, or lack thereof, I should say.
Well, the funny thing is, one of the receivers scored a touchdown this last week. Travis Kelce didn't do shit.
He didn't.
Patrick Mahomes only passed for 185 yards.
Yeah.
Threw for 2 touchdowns, but Rashee Rice caught another touchdown. He looks like he's going to be a better receiver than Sky Moore.
Yeah, that guy's
But-
falling off the face of the earth, man.
Yeah. But Jerick McKinnon caught a touchdown pass. But I think the biggest thing for Kansas City is if Kansas City had So forget the fact that they have one of the best offensive weapons in the league, Travis Kelce. But if they had offensive weapons like Detroit,
Okay.
I think they'd be unstoppable.
They would be, but here's what I think this is what they did. They had to, I guess, sacrifice some offensive weapons.
Yeah,
and they said it. Like, Kelsey and Mahomes have both said it. It's like, this is the best defense we've ever had in the time we've been here.
But they're still not great.
They're not great. It's not a great
But
defense.
I mean, like,
it's a good defense.
it's a good defense.
It's probably the best one we've seen.
And they just paid Jones a ton of money, right? They signed him.
Yep.
But this is what happens when you make your quarterback the highest
Yeah.
paid player in the league.
Yep.
And you're paying Travis Kelce a ton of money, even though honestly, I don't even think he's the highest paid tight end in the league.
Oh,
Truthfully,
I have no idea.
I think Kittle's the highest paid tight end in the
Is
league.
he really?
I believe so. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
We need Stat Girl.
Yeah, we do. Big time.
But yeah, so this is what happens when you sacrifice money elsewhere, and you don't have the money to pay any other positions on your offense. You've got cadaverous Tony out there.
No, you know who the highest paid tight end is right now?
Hold on, Hawkinson,
Yep. 19.39 mil.
and then second would be Kittle.
Nope.
No.
Evan Ingram.
What? Come on.
Yes. If what I'm looking at is correct, then that is, yeah.
All right, so who? Wow, highest paid tight ends.
Yeah. Dallas Goedert's third. Kelsey's like seventh. Like, they're both tied. Kittle and Kelsey are tied at 12.25.
Wait, hold on. So NFL's highest paid tight ends in 2023, average salary per year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this has something totally different, but this is 2023 season.
Yeah.
But this doesn't have Hawkinson on here at all.
Really?
Yeah, what is Hawkinson's that you're looking at?
It's on boardroom.tv.
Okay. So
And
this
even
one
on USA Today, it says TJ Hawkinson tops 2023.
really?
Yep.
All right. Well, let me see here. That's weird because this one doesn't have him on there at all.
But who would have thought it was TJ Hawkinson?
Okay, so it's not actually.
No.
No, so looking at the tight end contracts, it is. Well, Hawkinson's more than Kittle, but
Yes.
Darren Waller technically is the highest
Yeah,
paid tight
I'm
end.
seeing that right now.
Waller's technically the highest paid tight end average per year.
Right.
Then Hawkinson,
Then Kittle.
then Kittle,
Yep.
then Kelsey,
Okay.
Goddard, Andrews, and Ingram, and Njoku.
Maybe they're just going by cap hit.
Yeah, yeah. So average per year is what they're looking at. Now, total value of the contract, Kittle's the highest paid total value of the contract right now at $75 million. But yeah, Waller, Hawkinson, Kittle, and then Kelsey. So Kelsey is the fourth highest paid tight end average per year.
Yeah.
And yet, to me, he's the best tight end in the league.
I think it's hard to argue that. I mean, but again, with that offense, they keep saying they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. I mean, we're like halfway through the season. You know, at some point, we're going to figure it out? When do you actually do it?
Right.
And then we look at the Dolphins, and we were kind of discussing this before the show. We said this on a prior episode. You gotta look at that team. Like, are they slightly overrated? And I think they are.
I think it's both. So I think, and here's one place that's saying Kansas City has an elite defense. I don't believe they have an elite defense.
No, they do not have.
I believe they have a very good defense now.
Yep.
I believe it's good.
Yep.
Right.
I would agree with that.
I don't think it's elite. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think Kansas City's defense is better. They put money into it, as we just talked about.
Mm.
But I think Miami is very hit or miss, and they're not consistent, which makes them a little bit overrated. If they were consistent, that'd be different.
Yeah.
But when you can't go out there and perform the same every week,
No.
which, although, again, not to give them an excuse, we're seeing that from a lot of teams this year.
We are.
But no, I think they're slightly overrated, and part of it was by me. I had them rated very high. I had them picked as a Super Bowl team.
I think all four of us had them winning the division, didn't we?
I'd have to go back and look at that, but with that, I think it's both. I think Kansas City's defense is much better, and then I believe that Miami is slightly overrated, and in order to drop that overrated tag, you have to be more consistent. You have to be able to win games against elite teams, against better teams.
At least teams that have above 500 records.
Right.
You
know? Eric had Buffalo winning that division. You and I both had Miami winning that division.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're a good team, and there's time for them to get to where they need to be. And ultimately, I do think they'll win this division.
Yep. I had Miami winning the AFC.
I don't believe
so.
that.
When I say Super Bowl,
yeah.
I'm basically talking about me, and I'm saying that, yeah, I had them overrated at this point because they're 6-3. That's a good record at this point, but
it is.
If you can't beat the good teams,
then
what is it?
Yeah, right.
Then what are you doing?
Well, and who's not overrated?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates.
Yeah.
Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve.
Yeah.
Flagstar Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo.
I know Alicia's happy about that if she's still listening.
But
Yeah.
Jeremy, yeah. So the one that you tagged me in that we literally talked about on Friday, and then you tagged me in this on Saturday.
Yeah.
New Bears edge Montez Sweat has agreed to a massive 4-year extension worth $98 million in new money, $24.5 million annual per year, getting $72 million guaranteed. The deal's done.
Yeah.
Total deal is $105 million.
Okay.
But again, we talked about it on Friday on the show.
Yeah, we did.
And we were everyone we're all like, that's confusing for them. And I said the only way it makes sense is that they already talked to his agent and made a deal. The deal's done because that way he's not a rental.
Yeah.
What that does for them, and I said it on Friday's show, they got next year's free agency out of the way.
Yeah.
For at least a big piece that they needed. They needed something else on that defensive line. They need defense, right? So they were already going to go out and try to get some defense next year in free agency. They preemptively did it in the trade deadline. They traded for the guy. They got the deal done. Boom. Now part of your offseason is done.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
It does. No, it's a good piece of business by the Bears, which is kind of weird to say because they generally don't do
They
business.
don't. I think they've made a couple moves recently that were pretty smart. I mean,
Yeah.
the trade for DJ Moore and getting extra draft picks, that was fucking brilliant, man. I really believe that was brilliant. I think this is a smart move for them. They made a trade for a guy they would have wanted to go get in free agency anyway. And they approached the agent and said, listen, we don't want a rental player for this year. We're willing to trade for him. We'll give him the contract. What do we got to do to work it out? And done. You got part of your free agency over with, and it's halfway through this season. So cool.
Good business by them. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out with the Bears because you never know with them. They could find a way to totally fuck this up.
Absolutely.
You know?
I expect, because they keep hiring fucking bullshit head coaches.
Yes.
If they could hire a competent head coach, they'd be fine. But everyone they hire is like fucking Adam Gase.
Yeah, oh, that's your boy.
I fucking despise that man.
I know you do.
Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy.
Matt Eberflus. Like, hire a fucking competent head coach. Jesus.
Moving on to the, I guess another, maybe a marquee game was the Ravens and Seahawks. Ravens, again, just taking another team to the woodshed.
They
man.
fucking trucked Seattle. They trucked Seattle.
2 games in a row. They just
that was full on.
Dummy
If you've played Madden, they full on truck stick.
They did.
That fucking team. Wow. I mean, 37-3. I mean, That's an ass kicking.
Now that's the team I have representing the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Baltimore,
I
yep.
actually think I have them winning the Super Bowl.
I can tell you that in a second. Hold on.
I'm almost positive I have them winning the Super Bowl. Either them or Philadelphia.
Super Bowl champ. Nope.
Eagles?
We all had Philly.
Okay,
You and Eric both had Baltimore represented
got it.
out of the AFC.
But I look at this team, and this Ravens team kind of reminds me of the teams that have won the Super Bowl. They can beat you in different ways.
Your bold prediction, by the way, was Pittsburgh winning the Super Bowl.
Hey, hey, that with the record right now,
They're 5-3.
That could be a thing.
They're technically in the playoffs
That
right now.
could be a thing. But you look at the Ravens, and it's almost like a typical like Ravens team that they can find different ways to beat you. Like if their passing game is off, they can run the ball. If they can't run the ball, they can throw it. And if none of those are working, they can have their defense carry them.
I think the last few weeks the Ravens have solidified the key phrase, Super Bowl contender.
Oh, absolutely. Now, and honestly, if you want to look more into it, is this the best team in the NFL right now?
It's hard to argue.
Yeah. Now, I don't like to use that term in this year's NFL because I don't believe there is a best team.
The best of the rest?
I guess.
I mean, the best of the – I mean, at this point in time, they're in that conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Like I said, it's hard to use that term with this NFL.
They're 7-2.
Yeah.
In a division that is really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas City's 7-2, and their division is not that great.
No.
Philadelphia's 8-1, but we talked about it already. They have flaws. Nothing's been pretty with them.
No, certainly hasn't.
Jeremy says, "Here comes Harbaugh." I'm assuming you're talking about for the Chicago job. From what I understand, he will be looking for an NFL job after the season's over with. So,
Yes. I believe that's.
I
want him to go to the Raiders so bad.
I do too. I do too.
I want it to happen so bad.
Just for my own pure joy.
Oh hell yeah!
I want to see that
it to happen so bad.
But yeah, I think you and I both agree he's going to be going to the NFL.
Yeah, I think
we said it before the season even started, and then obviously with everything else that's happened since then,
Which is
it just solidifies our thought process that he's going to be gone.
It's just so funny. Like we did a show Friday. It's only been a couple days, and obviously we're doing the show right now.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, and like it's all the shit that we heard from Friday to today, and it's just like everything gets so convoluted, and it's just like, dude, nobody fucking knows anything. Stop.
There's so much that comes out, and there's so much that gets denied, and then and what bothers me is we've talked about it a couple times, but we haven't really been like, if you take a stance on something like this, like a full-on stance on something like this, early on, you're gonna get made to look like a fool because you have to wait until it plays out. Wait until you get you don't go all in before you see your second card in Texas Hold'em.
No.
You got one card, you get an ace, and you're like, I'm all in. Hold on, man. You might want to wait until you see all the cards first.
Yes.
Like, get your second card and see what you're holding.
It's like people with like a political affiliation. Like, why do you got to be that person? Like, why? Just wait.
Well, and especially with college football, it's very tribal, right? It's very tribal.
Very.
So, like, your college that you represent or you back does something, and you're like, oh, no, it's not that bad. Everything's fine. And then another college does the same fucking thing, and you're like, fucking prosecute them.
Oh, yeah.
Burn them at the stake.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, okay.
Absolutely.
All right, come on.
And this is to me the biggest difference between college football fans and NFL football fans is shit like this.
Dennis says, man, now I want to play cards.
Yeah,
I
shit, man.
I kind of do too, man. I haven't played Texas
we haven't
Hold'em in a
done
while.
that in a minute.
Or we could play euchre, Dennis.
Oh yeah, go back, take it way back.
Yeah, way back.
Way back. But yeah, like with this Harbaugh shit, guys, just let it play out, man. There's no need to take a hard, firm stance. That's what she said. On that.
That's what she said.
There's no need for it. Just like nobody knows anything.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
Like nobody knows anything for sure right now. Just let it play out, and then once everything comes out and is substantiated, then you know what? You want to sling your arrows and whatever. By all means, do your worst.
Great.
But right now, there's no reason for it. Yep. Like I understand you want to be like, oh, the I told you so person. Congratulations, you're an asshole.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's really bad. It's a bad move to take a huge fucking stance on some of this stuff right away, and that's why you don't. I mean, you just let it play out. I mean, is everything that certain people are saying things right now that when it all plays out, you'll look brilliant. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people that when it all plays out, you look like an idiot.
Yep.
And it's like, just let it play out and then judge and then decide and then go with it. And that's the biggest thing in a lot of these quote unquote scandals or the things that you know are in sports in general, that when stuff starts to come out about something, just hold on.
Just chill out.
Just wait.
It's like when we've talked about this numerous times about just reporting in general. It's like everybody wants to be first. They don't want to be right. They want to be first.
They want to be first.
No matter if it's right or wrong.
They just have to
be first.
Have to be first.
And now they want to be the person that says, you know, on their social media account, look, I told you. I said this months back that this is what was happening. This is what was going to happen. Hey, congratulations. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
You wrote words. Great.
Good job, you smelly pirate hooker.
Fucking, it's just stupid shit
Take
like
a
that.
big step back and literally fuck your own face.
That's awesome. I like that. That's great.
All right, so yeah, that game it basically solidifies Baltimore as a Super Bowl contender in my mind. They're one of the top teams. They're right up there, and to me, I think they're playing the best football right now.
Yeah, they are. It's definitely hard to agree.
They
hard to disagree
kicked
with
the
that.
shit out of a very good Lions team.
Yep.
They kicked the shit out of a playoff contender. I don't want to say Super Bowl contender. Playoff contender, Seattle Seahawks.
Weren't they leading their division?
Let's see.
The Seahawks, when that game happened?
Yes, they were. Now they're tied with San Francisco.
Right.
But like, they kicked the shit out of two of the best NFC teams there are.
They did. And like you just said, I think that does solidify them as a Super Bowl contender, possibly the Super Bowl contender coming out of the AFC.
I think the word "the" might be there if they put a few more games together, like they just did.
So, and then you look at your Brownies. I mean, they handle business. I mean, it's granted it's against a shitty Cardinals team,
Right.
but this is what you do against shitty teams. You beat them down, and that's exactly what they did.
That's exactly what they did.
And that's what you should do, especially a game at home. Yeah, you hammered them, and that's exactly what good teams do. They hammer bad teams. Okay, but just you look at that division. It's just like, man, whoever gets out of that division, you know, just winning that division.
What's the Browns' defense is a fucking juggernaut. And
for this NFL, that is an elite defense.
yes,
Like them, and I believe them and the Jets. That's
Jets are up there. I think right now the best defense that we're seeing play right now is the Browns.
I would agree
defense.
with that. I absolutely.
I think
agree
they're
with that.
playing otherworldly.
They are.
I mean, it's
Myles Garrett is a mutant.
dude.
Seriously.
It's fun to watch. I wish the offense was better because then they might have a better record. I know they're 5-3, but they might have a better record and they might have a better shot at making a run in the playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, if they didn't have the corpse of Deshaun Watson as quarterback or J.J. Walker, Dynamite at quarterback, they might be better off. Or if they had better play calling, better coaching, you know.
Wait, what?
Like you have a great offensive line and you choose to throw the ball on 3rd and 3. But yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
That's your head coach, man.
It's not my head coach.
It's not my head coach. I love that. It's not my head coach. All right, then.
But yeah, it's big thing to watch for Cleveland, though. This is going to be a hit for them. Not like he was otherworldly, but Jedrick Wills got carted off one of their tackles.
I've seen a lot of bad injuries
with a
like
leg
that this
injury.
year.
It didn't look good.
No.
He had tears run down his face, and that was a look to me like a player knew his season was over with.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be a big hit for Cleveland. No matter how great their defense is, if they lose some pieces on the offensive line, or any other pieces on offense in general,
Yeah.
they're going to be in trouble.
Well, like I said, we've seen a lot of bad injuries like that this year, like especially leg injuries. Like a lot of Achilles this year.
A lot.
A lot of Achilles this year.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones just went down with
Yeah.
Achilles. Cam Akers just went down with an Achilles
Another
injury. And then Aaron Rodgers, obviously, famously, the big first game of the year.
Yeah.
Fucking 5 snaps into it.
One of Tre'Davious White, I think his was an Achilles too. It's just
Yeah, I don't know,
so many like bad injuries this year. It's crazy. Now I don't know if it's from these turf fields. Maybe
There's a lot of blame going to that. I don't know. I'd have to see some of the science behind it.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean,
I saw a little bit of science just in passing. I didn't do like much research into it, but
Yeah.
the gist I got from it was this turf is not good.
gotcha.
It's not the best to be playing on just because of how like your feet react coming out of like a turn or whatever. Like
Right.
with this turf, the field turf or AstroTurf, whatever you want to call it, your foot kind of gets stuck a little
Okay.
bit, you know. And with these guys being so big and so fast, like the muscles just can't
Yeah.
handle it, you know.
Yeah.
And grass, it's obviously natural. It's much more forgiving, meaning you can get your foot out of said turn quicker. So it's like okay, it's in line with everything.
Right.
I didn't look more into that what I saw, but that's kind of the gist I got from it. So, but they're never going to change these fields, which I don't understand. Just change them. Just put fucking grass in. What are we doing here?
I mean, is it that hard to take care of grass?
Shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, what? Your water bill goes up a little bit? Like, come on. Fuck, man.
I think we have to touch on the performance that C.J. Stroud put on.
Dude is balling out, man. Dude is balling.
I mean, it was, again, talk about playing out of your mind and otherworldly. I mean, this guy is, as a rookie,
He's doing it.
he leads all quarterbacks with only 1 interception.
It's impressive, especially for a rookie.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're just like spoon feeding him stuff.
No.
Like he's actually playing like legitimate quarterback. Like here, go do it. And he's doing it.
He had borderline a perfect quarterback rating
Yeah.
in this game against Tampa Bay. And it's not like Tampa Bay didn't put up points. Like he had to outscore them. They put up points. Baker Mayfield was 265, 2 touchdowns. The score in this game was 39-37.
Shootout.
Houston. And Houston lost their place kicker in the middle of the game and had their backup running back kicking their extra points and field goals.
I saw that.
As a running back, he kicked a go-ahead field goal. Then Tampa drove down and scored.
Yeah.
And then C.J. Stroud drove back down and scored again. It was incredible.
That dude is again. I know we always rip on Ohio State quarterbacks, and deservedly so, because frankly, they just haven't been good, like flat out. But this is, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Bro, he put up 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's the best performance by any rookie quarterback ever.
That's not bad.
Well, 147.8 rating.
And
That's nuts.
And we were kind of talking about this before the show. If he could somehow manage to get this team to the playoffs, I think you almost have to give him the MVP.
Listen, if he takes them to the playoffs, he has to be the MVP.
Yeah. I know they don't want to give it to a rookie, which I think is absurd.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't either. I think it's absurd. If he has the best season, give it to him.
We talked about it before the show. So this team was regarded as one of the 3 worst teams in the league before the season started. Everyone had them pegged as a bottom 3 team.
Yes.
They're 4-4. Nobody ever thought they were going to be 4-4 right now. If he leads them to a playoff spot,
Yep.
yeah, especially with the way his stats are right now and what he's doing for this team, yes, you're the MVP in my opinion. Absolutely.
And not only that, then I think
DeMeco Ryans is Coach of the Year.
Exactly. That's just exactly where I was going with that. Like you'd have to give him Coach of the Year.
You would have to. Now, with that being said, I think right now, Coach of the Year, I think the betting choice that you should put money on is going to be Dan Campbell. I think if they make the playoffs, keep winning like they are, I think he'll be Coach of the Year. But if Houston does make a run, if Houston does make the playoffs, hands down, DeMeco Ryans will be Coach of the Year.
He should be. Now, do I think that will happen? No, I don't.
I find it hard to believe it's going to happen. But this past week, watching what happened with that team, you never know, man. I mean, you
that-
never know.
That division is not great.
It's not.
So they definitely have a major shot to actually pull this off.
Jeremy says this past week was probably some of the best football I've seen in a while, at least evenly matched. There were some good games. I mean, I don't think evenly matched goes with Baltimore beating Seattle 37-3 or Cleveland beating Arizona 27-0. And I can't say that even though it was a one-possession game, Kansas City Miami was a good game because it wasn't. It was kind of ugly.
No, it was
Dallas and Philly was a decent game. Like that was competitive. It came down to the end.
Yep.
Minnesota and Atlanta was a great game. That was a fun game to watch.
That I agree with you. I was watching through Red Zone. That was actually a fun game to watch.
I enjoyed watching that.
Yes, that one I will agree with you. It was a solid game to watch.
And that Tampa Houston game for sure was fun as hell to watch. I love what if you watch Red Zone, you know what I'm going to talk about. The witching hour.
Oh yeah. This is one of the better ones.
I love the witching hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like that time frame that is just towards the end of the game, the 1:00 games.
Yep.
Where like shit just pops off. They're cutting from one game to another game to another game. They're putting 3 or 4 games on
quad box.
They're all you got the quad box going,
yeah.
And they got it's. I mean, you're seeing scores and games changing. Like this was the best week for that so far this season, as far as the witching hour goes. Is watching teams go back and forth and the matchups. It was fun to watch. I enjoy that.
No, I would agree with you. That is fun to watch. The witching hour. It's just I feel like it's just been like too few and far between.
It had this year was the best one because you had Tampa Houston, which was back and forth. You had Minnesota Atlanta, which was back and forth. And what was there was one more. Oh, Washington New England was real close. But it was like those 2 games alone were enough to keep you fucking on the edge of your seat. Like they just were scoring left and right. And Josh Dobbs, like that dude was in a Minnesota uniform for 5 minutes, and he's out there throwing passes to guys whose names he doesn't even know.
No,
he's he's having to get the play calls from Jordan Addison.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like literally, he's asking Jordan Addison after he calls the play. Okay, the receivers on this side, what routes are they running? Receivers on this side, what routes are they running?
Yeah.
So he knew where to throw the football because he hadn't learned the playbook yet.
Well, no, you've been there 5 minutes.
But like it was impressive what he did. Honestly,
it is. And from what I was here, apparently he's incredibly smart. Like he internet like NASA or something like that.
He's a schooler, right? He studies and he wants to learn, and he's a very smart guy. Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Well, and that's the only reason they were able to do what they did. I mean, you can't be a quarterback and go in somewhere for 5 fucking minutes and be able to lead a team to a victory against another National fucking Football League team. There's no chance in hell it's happening unless you're a person who studies the game and is that smart of an individual. You know what I mean?
You know who studies the realty game?
The Joe Wright Group.
That's right. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today, 0248-535-4750, to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other games you want to hit on, or any other topic you want to hit on?
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other games worth hitting on. I mean, the Colts, put the Panthers to bed.
Yeah.
Washington basically nothing burgered the Patriots. It was, I don't know. Nah, not really.
Nah.
Packers Rams was boring as hell.
It really was.
Like that was awful.
It really was.
Brett Rippon under center. Holy shit!
And they just signed my favorite quarterback of all time,
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, buddy. No, I think we're good.
All right.
We can move on.
Hit the picks
to whatever else we want to move on to. Is that
you
what we're moving
got
on to?
any other topic you want to hit?
Not really, no.
Right, cool.
Other than if you're a Wings fan listening right now, because we're in the Detroit area, turn them on.
They're doing all right.
They're a good team.
They're doing all right
ish. I mean,
they're not bad.
They're not bad.
They're not bad.
So, I mean, do yourself a favor and watch some Red Wing hockey.
I would agree with that. And I'm not a Red Wings fan, but I like good hockey, and they played good hockey this year. So, yeah, I would definitely say if you are a Wings fan, give them a watch for sure.
Yep. All right. You want to do the picks?
I do.
All right. This is going to be our new format for the picks.
Yeah.
Jeremy says they're good adjacent. I like
good.
that.
I like good adjacent. Yeah, they're real adjacent.
They're real adjacent.
Yes.
Are they for real? No, they're for real adjacent.
I mean, they're better now than they've been in the past almost decade.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
This segment is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group.
It's time!
So how'd the picks go last week?
All right. So last week,
By the way, this goalie, we're watching while we're doing the show, we're watching the Carolina Buffalo Sabres game. I love this goalie that's playing for Buffalo right now. His name is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I know, Dennis, you'll love that too because Dennis is a huge Sabres fan. So shout out to you.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
That's a hell of a name right there.
If that's a hockey name if I've ever heard one.
That for sure is a hockey name.
Love it.
So the picks this week, for the first time since week 2, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah.
The week.
Nicely done, sir.
Yeah. Making a comeback. I went 10-6 this week. Chris, you were in second.
Okay.
9-7.
Another winning week, baby.
Eric and Frank both had a 7-9. You can't bell yourself. We discussed that last week.
The fuck I can't myself. If I get a winning week, I'll bell myself every week.
So yes. Also for the second week in a row, I won the college picks somehow.
Solid.
Which fucking weird. You won the NFL picks this week.
Again, that's completely should be flip-flopped.
It's completely reversed, but I'll take it. A winning week. I'm now one away from having a 500 record. I'm 70, 71, and 5.
Okay.
Chris, you have a 78, 63, and 5 record.
Take it.
Eric has a 76, 65, and 5 record.
Yeah.
Frank is 52, 44, and 2.
Okay.
And this week we are doing a different format. We're doing the format we did on Friday.
Yeah, which, again, I didn't know how it worked, but we liked it. So we said, let's stick with it.
And I like playing drops. So
yes.
Have at reading off what our picks are, and I'm just going to drop City, bitch.
I love it. So the first game up, we got on the college football slate, we got Miami taking on Florida State. Florida State was laying 14.5. I took Florida State. Joe, you took Miami. Eric took Florida State, and Frank took Florida State.
The price is wrong, bitch.
This is going to be great. Next up, we have Tennessee taking on Missouri. Tennessee is laying 1. I took Missouri. Joe, you took Tennessee. Eric took Tennessee, and Frank took Missouri.
Stop it, Chris. You're making it hard.
Good Lord. That's an oldie but a goodie right there. After that, we got Utah taking on Washington. Washington was laying 9. I took Washington. You took Utah. Eric took Utah, and Frank took Washington.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
Next up, we got Mississippi taking on Georgia. Georgia was laying 10.5. I took Mississippi. Joe, you took Georgia. Eric took Georgia, and Frank took Georgia, so I'm on the island on that one.
Joe agrees.
Next up, we got USC taking on Oregon. Oregon's laying 15. I took Oregon. Joe, you took USC. Eric took Oregon, and Frank took Oregon. So it looks like you are on the island on that one.
You can't let that shit happen. You can't.
I remember saying that after a Leafs game. I think it was a playoff game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yes, it
was. I was angry about it. Next up, we got Alabama laying 10.5, taking on Kentucky. I took Alabama. You took Alabama. Eric took Alabama, and Frank took Kentucky.
You got a little wiener and some tiny nuts.
After that, we got Texas Tech taking on Kansas. Kansas is laying 3.5. I took Kansas. You took Kansas. Eric took Kansas, and Frank took Kansas. So we're all on the same page on that one.
Mana, the meatloaf!
Nice. And the big one of the week, Michigan's laying 4.5, taking on Penn State. I took Penn State. You took Penn State. Eric predictably took Michigan. And Frank took Penn State. So Eric is on the island on that one.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Nice. Moving on to the NFL. A game here that, again, should be flexed into the sun. Nobody wants to watch it, but we will because it's football. And yeah. Yes, this game should absolutely be sponsored by Pepto-Bismol, 100%. Carolina taking on Chicago. Chicago is laying 3.5. I took the Bears. You took the Bears. Eric took the Bears, and Frank took the Bears. We all did. We all took the Bears. How about that?
It's like watching a bunch of retards trying to fuck a doorknob.
That's literally what this football game is going to be like.
Yep.
Absolutely. Next up, we got Indy laying 2, taking on New England. I took Indianapolis. You took Indianapolis. Eric took Indianapolis, and Frank we all took Indianapolis on this one.
This guy here is dead.
Cross him off, then.
That's Indianapolis' quarterback.
This guy here is dead.
It might be my favorite line from that movie.
It's so great.
It's so good.
This guy here is dead.
Cross him off then. What I love about it is you can use that.
Yeah.
In so many different situations.
Cross him off then.
Like when we were talking about Matthew Perry passing away, I'm like, cross him off then. Next up, we got New Orleans laying 2.5, taking on Minnesota. I took Minnesota. You took Minnesota. Eric took New Orleans, and Frank took Minnesota. So Eric's on the island on that one.
Never go full retard.
Awesome. Next up, arguably the biggest game of the week. We got the Browns taking on the Ravens. Baltimore is laying 6. I took the Brownies. You took the Brownies. Eric took the Brownies, and Frank took Baltimore.
Well, this is awkward.
Nice. Next up, we got San Francisco laying 3, taking on the real adjacent Jacksonville Jaguars. I took San Francisco. You took San Francisco. Eric took Jacksonville, and Frank took San Francisco, which I'm very shocked about. I thought he would take Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I guess because they're only real adjacent. He didn't take
They're only real adjacent.
That's right.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Next up, we oh god damn, another game that should be flexed into the sun. The Jets laying 2.5, taking how the fuck did this game not get flexed? Like I'm serious. They had plenty of time to flex this game out. Plenty of time. These teams are trash, both of them. And it's going to be the Sunday night game. Are you kidding me?
Well, I don't like any of the late games this week.
You could have flexed Cleveland and Baltimore in the Sunday night.
Yeah.
But no.
That's going to be a better game.
Of course it's going to be a better game. Or even San Francisco and Jacksonville you could have flexed in the Sunday night.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to be stuck watching fucking the Jets and Raiders. Trash. That's my grind my gears for this week is that. They're not flexing this.
San Francisco Jacksonville would have been a good game for that too.
Yes. That they didn't flex. Shit, they could have flexed this Monday night game out too. You fucking kidding me?
That's what I was just talking about. I don't like either one of the night games.
Terrible. Anyways, we have the Jets laying 2.5, taking on the Raiders. I took the Raiders. You took the Raiders. Eric took the Jets, and Frank predictably took the Raiders.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Lady friend said she loves that drop. I'm not sure which ones you're talking about. I've played nothing but drops.
You have to be more specific, lady friend.
Like, I've played nothing but drops for the last 5 minutes other than Chris reading off the picks. So I have no idea which drop you're talking about.
That was a mid-take.
Motherfucker.
Yes.
I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Shut up. I hate you.
Good times.
Fuck you both.
I love how I can have a full conversation with Allison by just using her drops.
Drops. It's great. Next up, we got the Broncos take on the Bills. The Bills are laying 7.5. I took Denver. Joe, you took Buffalo. Eric took Denver, and Frank took Buffalo.
Take a big step back and literally fuck your own face.
That's what Ken Dorsey needs to do, for real. And the last game on the slate, obviously, it's always the biggest game that we do. The Detroit Lions are laying 1.5, taking on the LA Chargers. I took the Lions. You took the Lions. Eric and Frank predictably took the Lions as well.
I said the Lions won a game.
Yes.
Man, we going all the way. All the way, baby. We about to celebrate. Why? Because the Lions won a game.
Bitch.
That's an oldie, but I haven't heard that in a minute. Nice. I'm glad you pulled that one out. That's a good one. It's been a minute since I've heard that.
All right, and those are the picks?
Those are the picks.
All right.
Oh, she said it was Chris is making it hard drop.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what she said.
Stop it, Chris. You're making it hard.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Fantastic.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
Oh,
my God.
shit.
Fantastic.
You know who's not a smelly pirate hooker?
Who's not?
Steve Waddell from Baldman Entertainment.
I don't know.
Hooker. Not a smelly pirate hooker, though.
That's fair.
We all know planning an event such as a wedding, birthday party, graduation party, or any other event that might require a DJ can be very hairy. Eliminate the stress and give Steve Waddell at Baldman Entertainment a call today at 586-747-5402. He is the resident DJ for St. Hubert's Festival every year. If he is good enough for God, then he is obviously good enough for you.
And apparently hookers as well.
Listen. If you want to have a party with hookers, hire a DJ. Baldman Entertainment. Again, that's Baldman Entertainment.
Supply the below. It's all
586-747-5402. The best decision you can make for a smooth event.
That's right. Hookers and blow, man.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Yes.
All right. Fun times.
For sure.
Anything else you got for the show?
No.
Nope.
No.
All right. Give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts at your favorite podcast provider. Check out SOTDET.com, where you can find all of our fantasy rankings, blogs, our show picks, and again, click on shop while you're there and shop for some stuff. Again, that's SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris and Frank and Eric, who are not here but put in their picks, we are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye. Have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no!
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.